Imagine this, a German citizen can travel most of Europe with just an ID card. In fact, an American citizen can travel almost the entire African continent with just minimal visa restrictions. But guess what? When it comes to an African traveling on the African continent, you either need a visa, an invitation letter, or maybe a hotel booking, or maybe you need to present your return ticket to your country. And this sickens me. Try and imagine an Africa where we have one Pan-African passport that can enable you to travel the entire African continent without any kind of restrictions. And for that reason, in this video, I want us to examine, number one, the dream of having a borderless free Africa. And then I would also want us to look at why traveling in Africa is so complicated. We would also look at the cost of closed borders on the African continent, and then not forgetting the most important thing, the Pan-African passport and the possibilities this can bring to the continent. Now, of course, along the way, if you happen to get value from this video, I would like you to help me do this one thing. Like the video, because this signals to YouTube that, you know what, many more Africans are actually getting value from this video, and it will actually push it to more other Africans to get this message. Now, long before the independence movement swept across Africa, this was in the 50s, in the 60s, and in the 70s, most African leaders actually wanted a united Africa because they knew that once all African countries were united, they would actually fight for their rights in a much better way. In fact, leaders like Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, he advocated for a united Africa, and he believed that the future of Africa was for the entire continent to actually be united. So this basically meant, or this basically means, that an African from Ghana would be welcomed in Kenya, and a Nigerian would be free to work in Tanzania, while a Zambian would freely live and basically be welcomed in Angola, because that's the pillar of Pan-Africanism. But the problem is the colonial borders actually remained, and up to date, people are still stuck in their countries, basically with all these imaginary borders that were brought onto us by people from not this continent. I'll give you an example of a cow. When a cow is, let's say, pegged somewhere, it would basically only operate within a particular radius of it actually being able to eat. And even when you remove that peg, that cow will still remain in that same radius. So that's exactly what most Africans have actually been reduced to. So basically, people think they should be stuck within their regions or countries, and most people have actually remained that way. So most people end up getting stuck. And imagine Africa has 1.4 billion people. So just try and imagine the kind of market this can create for the entire continent if people are freely let to actually move from one country to the other. So in my opinion, I believe this should change, and it is us or people like me that actually need to bring this change. If such messages are actually shared out there, maybe it would spark something to actually enable change take effect on the African continent. Now, I want you to imagine a young entrepreneur traveling from Rwanda to go to South Africa for a business conference. Of course, it won't be that easy for this young entrepreneur to go attend this conference, simply because there are so many restrictions. Starting from the visa itself, you need to actually have a visa that goes to South Africa. Then number two, you need to actually show your hotel booking. Then you have to show things like a bank statement. So all these restrictions might end up blocking this young entrepreneur from actually going to South Africa and attending that particular business conference. So this is a big hindrance, in my opinion. If Africans really want to move to the next level, I believe this is something they should prioritize. Africans should be able to move from point A to point B without any kind of restrictions, because we are all the same people. We are all people that look like me. Because if you are to compare what happens in Europe, if a young German entrepreneur, let's say, wants to attend a business conference, let's say in Netherlands, they would basically board the next plane to Netherlands without any kind of restriction. So you can see the difference that creates. It basically means the other continents are actually developing and growing at a rapid rate compared to Africa, because here we are locked and we can't freely move from one country to the other. So I believe this is a big hindrance, because I have some of my friends that want to attend different conferences, but because of all these restrictions, they cannot go, or maybe a visa might be granted past the day of the conference. So just imagine such a scenario, because people move for so many reasons. It could be business growth, it could be tourism, but because of all these restrictions, people cannot move, and that actually affects the economies in these African countries. Because the one thing that actually always puzzles me a lot is the fact that someone can come from Europe, someone can come from the USA, and they are able to travel across the African continent without any kind of restrictions. But when it comes to the Africans who are from the motherland, they cannot cross from one country to the other simply because of all these restrictions that are in place. Of course, the major reasons given by most of these African governments is, number one, they think people are going to smuggle, or maybe there's going to be cross-border crime like maybe terrorism and all those, but these are small according to what the continent is actually losing without having these borders opened. So in my opinion, Africa should open up. We should be able to move, especially the factors of production, from one point to the other without any kind of restrictions. So that's my opinion. I don't know what yours is. You can go to the comments and let me know. It's very funny how most Africans think that these travel restrictions only affect tourism, but guess what? It only doesn't affect this, because if I'm a student and I, let's say, want to go and study in Angola, or I want to study in Egypt, but I'm restricted, there's no way I'm going to be able to actually go pursue that particular course that I want to pursue. Or maybe if I have family in a country like, let's say, Togo, and I want to go there, I will not be able to actually reach them. Let's say I have family there and they want to always come visit me. I'm basically disconnected from my family simply because of these restrictions that are in place. And then of course I might be an investor, but because of all these restrictions, I'm unable to go invest in a particular African country simply because there are still many restrictions. Or let's say I run a manufacturing plant and I want to expand my business to a particular country, I'm still unable simply because all the factors of production are restricted when it comes to travel and all that. Because trust me, today we have so many Africans in different African countries that maybe do not have jobs. Try and look at doctors. You might find a country like Ghana has so many doctors, and maybe there's a shortage in Uganda. So if a Ghanaian doctor was able to actually travel from Ghana and come to Uganda, basically bridge this shortage that is in Uganda, then definitely that particular doctor is able to find a job opportunity in another African country. So I see no problem with that. Of course, today we have the African Free Continental Trade Area, but it is not working. It is not helping at all, because most of these countries where this would have operated, they still have the restrictions in place. Because when human movement is restricted, definitely economic integration cannot happen, or it basically makes it even much harder to actually achieve. I don't know if you know this, but in 2016, the African Union introduced what they call the Pan-African Passport. And of course, this goal was very revolutionary, but of course, there were restrictions simply because they only opened up this Pan-African passport to only diplomats on the continent. It basically meant that most diplomats would freely move across the continent, and it basically symbolized that if you had this passport, you would definitely move across the entire African continent without any restrictions. You are basically an African citizen. So that's basically what this Pan-African passport meant. So it was definitely a great step towards having one continent as Africa, and basically removing all these restrictions from all the African 54 states that we have, or 54 countries that we have at the moment. Now today in 2016, several years later, of course this has not worked because most African countries have not amended their immigration policies, and this basically means that for the African or the Pan-African passport to work, it simply means all the 54 states or all the 54 countries must agree first, and once they all agree, this is maybe when this can happen for the African continent. Now in the comments, please let me know, if you are handed this Pan-African passport, what's the first country that you would think of traveling to, and why would that be? Please let us know in the comments, and for more Pan-African content, please watch this next video.